How do you practice mindfulness? Scroll down for questions. Advice. Hi, I really don't know how to clearly express the point here, but I think my life is just passing by without me feeling like I'm living it. Anyone else? I guess it doesn't have to come down to feeling like it, but actually living it, which I am. To a certain extent. Experiencing dullness and no interest more often than positive emotions, curiosity, and thrill will feel like not living. The thing is, major parts of what make life what it is, like growth, learning from mistakes, or even making mistakes, are hard in some ways, and so is accepting reality sometimes. I feel disconnected from my own mind and find it hard to truly be in touch with my needs as a person to reach substantial happiness. I'm talking about knowing what I want other than material stuff or vanity. I can't create meaningful connections with people or maintain them. It's like I'm hiding from people, from the world, hiding from myself even at times, and don't know what I feel or how to feel. But the trap is that I don't know how I would want to live my life really. I just realize that some things are not worth chasing, and I'm looking for something meaningful to chase. The uncertainty, I just don't know. I'm just dull and inconsistent, very inconsistent actually in most of the things I do, and inconsistent in who I am, if that makes sense, in terms of patterns of behaviors, emotions, actions towards other people, and stuff in general. I experience a huge lack of motivation most of the time and randomly have bursts of motivation to do things that eventually I never see through due to overthinking, hesitation, or unrealistic expectations. I don't dive deeper into myself, emotions, desires, values, principles, into the things that drive me, piss me off, etc. It's like I don't know myself. I can't just recall any of it because they are tied to emotions, and it's like I can't process those as well. Maybe I don't how to. Or scared? Is this stuff I should ask for help? Or figure it out by myself? Is this a form of journaling? When I look these things up, the same things pop up. Mindfulness, journaling, staying present, and all that. I don't know what it means for real, so I got questions. What is even journaling? How do I make it effective? What do y'all use to journal? I sometimes find myself writing in random books, but it doesn't seem to help. Do y'all use blank pages? Lines? A certain page color? A certain place? Music? To be inspired to write? And what do you even write about? And why do you think it works for you? What does working for you means? What do y'all think mindfulness is? And how can I reach a level that actually start to translate to positive change, feeling less anxious, finding approval within me sort of change? How to let go for real and embrace change? Growth? Not taking things so seriously or thinking too deep into stuff. Another thing is courage. Is there a hack to have courage and act with less hesitation? And stick with the choices you make and stand on it? And how can journaling help me gain that? What is self-awareness? How do you gain more of it? Where do insecurities come from? How do you let go of those? Are boundaries supposed to be found? Or drawn? I'm asking for the sake of congruence or consistency. What is emotional awareness? How do you gain more of it? How do you deal with impulses? Lack of self-control emotionally? How do you get out of your own head and fully interact with the world around you? I know some of these questions, I could just Google it, but it's just the same generic algorithm stuff that pop up. So, I'm asking y'all, even though we might not all have the answers to these. If you do answer a question, please indicate the number, so we could know what question you're tackling.
Journaling has made a big difference for me. I'll offer what has worked for me as a starting point. That said, I really encourage you to experiment to see what works for you. 1. The definition of journaling is wide, but what I feel makes it effective is to write about what is challenging you, or what you are celebrating, rather than trying to catalog your day. For example, if you experience dullness, write about that. What feels dull? How do you feel it? If you had to assign it a character in a movie or book, what would that be? How does it interact with others? How does it look? What does the dullness need from you? What do you need from it? If everything has a role to play, what would the purpose of dullness in your life be? Get creative and playful. This is just an example. You could do the same with inconsistency. I also suggest challenging your definitions of things. Are you always inconsistent? If not, then can you really say you are inconsistent if you're not consistently inconsistent? Journaling can help us get out of our heads by being a bit cheeky with ourselves. 2. I found it helped me to buy a book to journal in. It can be a cheap notebook or something fun. I have had kids' notebooks. I have also used super bougie journals, which made me more excited about journaling in the beginning, but now I use a basic brown craft paper notebook. 3. Mindfulness. It takes a while to see a difference, so the first difference you may notice is actually patience and persistence, because if you can keep practicing without immediate results, it will take cultivating those things. It is a gradual change over time. Mindfulness can mean many things, but really, it's about being present in the moment. Present to your thoughts, feelings, expectations, motivations, senses, ideas, beliefs, etc. And being present to what is happening around you. One comment here recommended a body scan. I agree. Sometimes the experience of dullness can be a disconnection from our bodies, and the way we don't experience emotions. The other step-by-step process described in another comment can also be powerful. Also, consider checking out an app. Insight Timer is free and has thousands of guided meditations that could be a great start. I know you have lots more questions, but starting with mindfulness practices and journaling may help you find some of those answers yourself.
Asking questions is always a great place to start. If I could target a theme, however, from your post in questions, I would have to say it appears you may be overly focused on expectations. I know this well because I've struggled with this within my own spiritual and mindfulness journey. I would suggest that the next time you have a meditation session, similar to a physical body scan, do a scan of your expectations. Ask yourself within your meditation if you have expectations of results, rewards, answers, etc., and how these feelings may impact your states of dullness and apathy. We live in a culture where expectations abound, from pursuit and fulfillment of goals, dreams, purpose, meaning, all of which do nothing but cloud our one true goal, to just be.
3. Also 4, 6, 7, 8, 10, and 11, I'm a mindfulness teacher. Your questions are all great and completely normal for people who are curious about this stuff. I could write a book on all the things you have asked. Here are the basics. Mindfulness is paying attention to the present moment with kindness and curiosity. How to be mindful? 1. Notice. The first step is just noticing that you aren't present. 2. Come back to the present moment. It's most common to do this by focusing on the breath, but it doesn't work for everyone. Try to notice the breath where it feels strongest for you. It might be air at the tip of the nose, swirling in the back of the throat, the rise and fall of the chest or belly. Breathe slowly and deeply while focusing on that sensation. Step 3. Notice how you feel in this moment. Name the feeling: bored, frustrated, content, whatever. Step 4. Allow however you feel to be okay. Just say to yourself, it's okay, and let the current feeling be. This is how we begin to find acceptance of our feelings. It's what's there, you might as well accept it instead of fighting against it, which creates stress. This is just the tip of the iceberg of mindfulness practice. Since you are new at this, I will give you a second suggestion for being in the present. Our senses are always in the present. Tuning into them will get you out of your head. When you notice you are distracted, always the first step. Name 5 things you see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you hear, 2 things you smell, 1 thing you can taste. This exercise will also bring you into the present. There are tons of scientific studies showing that if you learn to be mindful, you will gain emotional awareness, acceptance, self-awareness, and more emotional self-control. See if you can find an online or in-person mindfulness class. There's a lot to this, and different practices will help with different things. It truly can change your life and help with most of the things you are asking about. Feel free to ask me questions if you need to. Good luck.